Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. In your business as an entrepreneur or in your market, how do you actually win? Not just survive, but actually thrive and win because everybody's working hard, everybody's grinding. So if effort alone was the answer, then everyone would probably be at the top, but clearly they are not. There is a performance psychologist who I've been following as of late. His name is Dr. Gio Valiante. He's coached a number of PGA Tour professionals. He was the head performance coach for, I think, the Buffalo Bills. He's coached a lot of high performers in the investor and business space. Thousands of hours working with these top individuals as a performance management or performance psychologist individual. And after all those years around such elite performers, Gio really boiled it down to five ways to win. And I want to go through those five because, I think they're pretty obvious, they're pretty direct, but I liked how it's succinct and it allows us to maybe analyze which of the five are we in fact honoring in our path to success. Because the reality is, you only need one. Number one, the number one way to win, to have success is talent. An obvious statement, but talent. You win because you're just simply better. Maybe you're smarter, maybe you're more gifted than everyone that you're competing against. The hard truth around this one is that most of us don't have it. Most of us aren't more talented than everybody else around us. I know Gio's worked with, I think, Rory McIlroy, the golfer, and he says, there's footage of Rory when he was 5 or 6 years old, where his golf swing looks pretty much the exact same way it does today. Well, Rory certainly worked really, really hard to get to where he's at today. So certainly I wouldn't take that away from him. But he had a natural swing. That guy was naturally talented. Most of us don't have that sort of thing. And that's fine because raw talent is the edge you probably have the least control over. So you can sharpen it, but you probably cannot manufacture it. So don't build your business on hoping that you're the most talented person in the room, would be the takeaway here. But number one is, in fact, talent. Number two, work ethic. In other words, you just simply out effort the talent and everybody else around you. Now, for me, when I reflect on the successes I've had, I think that this might be the one I've built my career on, because I don't think I was the smartest person in my market, but I was willing to outwork most everybody in my market. I was willing to make more phone calls or have more conversations or just show up more often than everybody else. And it paid off because talented people, some of them sleep in. Work ethic doesn't sleep in. But here, of course, is the catch. Work ethic alone does have a ceiling because there's only so many hours in a day. So eventually everyone working hard is going to hit the same wall. Which brings us to number three, the third way to win, and that is process. Process. In other words, you become religious about your routines. You become religious about your systems. Valiante says process limits variability. And I'm a big fan of that. Recently, I was talking about simplification on a previous episode, and I talked about how, in order to simplify, I believe in building routine. And I talked a little bit about the morning routine. Well, this is that. This is what we're talking about here. I talked about work ethic being number two. Number three, you take that work ethic, you combine it with number three, which is process, and you're unstoppable. Think about what kills most small businesses. It's not usually one big mistake. What it is inconsistency. You have a great month, then you have a bad month, maybe another good month, and then a bad month. So you're locked in, but then you're distracted. Process, as described here, smooths that out. Your systems will carry you on the days maybe your motivation or even your work ethic doesn't show up. Number four, Of five, differentiation. Differentiation. This was a unique one. This isn't one that I think I've been able to articulate or put in the words in the way that Gio Valiante did. You just see the game differently than everyone else. So maybe you have the same industry, you're in the same industry, or you have the same customers and the same conditions as most everybody else, but you're looking through a different lens. And an example that Valiante provides, he talks around football, and this may not resonate with everybody. You might not know these coaches, but you'll still get the point. For those that know the coaches, you'll really understand. He talks around Steve Spurrier, Nick Saban, and Urban Meyer. All three of those individuals are Hall of Fame college football coaches. All three, though, saw the game very, very differently. Nick Saban, he saw the game as a game of talent. He was arguably the greatest recruiter in college football. He constantly looked for talent, and then he would coach the game to that talent, but it was always talent number one for him. Steve Spurrier actually saw the game differently. He saw it as a game of space. So he would say the game of football has it's multiple or multi-dimensional, and he would teach a quarterback to just get the ball into space, throw the ball into space, and let your receivers do what we plan for them to do. And then Urban Meyer, his game was all about speed. Everybody on his team, be it an offensive lineman or a safety or whoever it may be, had to operate with a degree of speed. So all three of these individuals are champions, all looking at the exact same 100-yard football field, but they all saw something different, completely different for that matter. So while your competitors maybe fight over the same strategy or the same messaging, maybe even the same playbook, you have to find the angle that nobody else is playing, because different in a lot of cases beats better. And that's what panned out for these three coaches. And number 5 of 5 is hiring. You bring in people who maybe have the first 4. You find a group of talent around you, hire those around you that have that work ethic I'm talking about, or the talent, or the different vision for things. And as a result, you're hiring to the pieces that maybe you don't possess individually as an individual. And then you manage that talent. So you hire the talent, you hire the work ethic, you hire the process people, those that think differently. And this is the multiplier. Because when I look at those first 4 that I gave you, the 5 ways of winning, the first four are truly all capped by you. You are, in fact, the bottleneck, your hours or your natural gifts or your energy. Hiring actually removes that cap. Now, here's why I think you only need one of these 5. Look at that list again: talent, work ethic, process, differentiation, and hiring. Only one of them is out of your control. The other 4, they're all available to you. And they're all available to you today without any sort of barrier to entry or permission required. I think most business owners and entrepreneurs lose because maybe they're average at all 5 instead of being dominant at one. So pick your edge and then go all in on it. Now, there is one more. I know I said list of 5, but there's a plus one because we can't really control this one. And it is luck, in my opinion. There's some people, I know there's definitions for luck, and it's when preparation meets opportunity, and that's what I get it. But some people, like, you flip a coin 100 times, 50 of those times it should come out heads and 50 should come out tails. But within that 100 flips, you're going to have scenarios where it's like 4 or 5 or 6 heads in a row. Well, for some people that happens, and they have success during those 4 or 5 or 6 flips. Some people are just lucky, and it's not to take away from anything, but I'm just saying that is one more way to win, but we can't control that. We can control 4 of the 5 that I just provided you. So here's your action item for the week. I want you to grade yourself on each of the 5: talent, work ethic, process, differentiation, and hiring. Maybe give yourself a grade from 1 to 10. You can't use 7. You know my rule here at No Days Off. Give yourself a grade of 1 to 10. Talent, where are you at? Work ethic, where are you at? Process, differentiation, hiring. And be honest. Then I want you to circle your highest score. and write down one specific thing that you'll do this week to push it even higher. So if work ethic happens to be the one you're rated highest enough, you could probably go up one more level. If process is the one you happen to be highest at, you could probably go up two more levels. What's the one thing you can do this week to push that level even higher? Don't fix the weakness. That's a mistake many of us could make here. Don't fix the weakness. Instead, I want you to double down and feed the strength. That's all I have for you today, the No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.